Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Excellency Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources participates tomorrow in the second United Nations Food Systems Summit in Ethiopia. And the Sultanate of Oman receives the official Ramsar Convention accreditation certificate for Al Wusta Governorate's wetland reserve. Those are the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to Her Excellency Dina Boluarte, President of the Republic of Peru, on the occasion of her country's National Day. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, His Excellency Dr. Saud bin Hamoud Al-Habsi, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources, participates tomorrow at the second UN Food Systems Summit held in the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. The summit is expected to highlight challenges and opportunities related to promoting sustainable food systems, in addition to supporting international efforts aiming to achieve sustainable development goals. His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed Al Na'mani, Minister of the Royal Office, received His Excellency Albert Antoine Elias, Ambassador of the Lebanese Republic, on the occasion of the end of his tenure in the Sultanate of Oman. His Excellency Minister of the Royal Office praised His Excellency the Ambassador's efforts to strengthen existing relations and areas of joint cooperation between the two countries, wishing him continued success in his future assignments. His Excellency the Ambassador expressed his deep pride and appreciation for the cooperation and care he has received, commending the strong bilateral relations between the Sultanate of Oman and the Lebanese Republic. His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed Al Na'mani, Minister of the Royal Office, also received His Excellency Rashad Ismailov, Ambassador of the Republic of Azerbaijan to the Sultanate of Oman. During the meeting, they discussed bilateral relations and ways to enhance existing areas of cooperation to achieve the interests of the two countries. They also addressed developments and some regional and international issues of mutual interest. The Sultanate of Oman has received official accreditation from the Ramsar Convention for the inclusion of the Al Wusta Wetland Reserve on the list of wetlands of international importance. This marks the third Omani site to be included in this prestigious list, following the Al Qaram Nature Reserve in 2013 and Al Ansab Wetlands in 2020. This achievement was announced on the sidelines of the 15th Conference of the Contracting Parties to the Ramsar Convention, COP15, under the theme Protecting Wetlands for Our Common Future, held in Zimbabwe until 31st of July. This official international recognition represents Oman's efforts in biodiversity conservation and its commitment to implementing international environmental standards for protecting fragile ecosystems. It also highlights the reserve's status as one of the most important ecological sites at both regional and global levels. Al Wusta Wetlands Reserve is distinguished by its rare ecosystem, including mangrove forests, Oman's largest pristine gathering covering 162 hectares, as well as salt flats, coral reefs, and seagrass beds. It also provides nesting habitats for endangered sea turtles, such as the olive ridley and the green turtle. An event titled Oman Broadband Jusur Forum, a step towards empowering people with disabilities, was held today in the Wilaya of Salalah as part of ongoing efforts to support and economically empower individuals with disabilities. The event is part of a series of community and awareness activities carried out by Oman Broadband Company in the Far Governorate, coinciding with the Kharif season 2025. Her Excellency Dr. Leila Ahmed Al-Najjar, Minister of Social Development and patron of the opening ceremony, emphasized that the forum represents an effective model of collaboration between public and private sectors. Financial numbers on the local front have shown positive growth by the end of last May, as local liquidity recorded an increase of nearly 7% on an annual basis. More details in the following report.
Liquidity and lending indicators in the Sultanate of Oman witnessed significant growth by the end of last May. Local liquidity recorded an increase of nearly 7% on an annual basis, reaching 25,376 million Omani riyals. Preliminary data from the National Center for Statistics and Information indicated that the issued currency recorded a slight decline, amounting to more than 1,614 million Omani riyals. Meanwhile, the narrow money supply increased by about 14%, exceeding 7,148 million Omani riyals. Additionally, the total loans and financing granted by commercial banks and Islamic windows reached 33,562 million and 900,000 Omani riyals, an increase of 8%, while the private sector deposits also rose by more than 7%, exceeding 21,911 million Omani riyals. The average interest rate on total loans decreased by 1%, reaching approximately 5.5%, while net foreign assets recorded a slight increase, amounting to more than 7,410 million Omani riyals. These statistics also showed an increase in the effective exchange rate index of the Omani riyal by more than 1%, reaching around 119 points by the end of last May.
Still to come in our news bulletin. A honey and turmeric exhibition in Dhofar brings together local beekeepers and farmers. Dozens of aid trucks began moving from Egypt to Gaza via the Karam Abu Salim crossing following months of global pressure over growing starvation in the enclave. Israel said it launched airdrops and would establish humanitarian corridors and pauses to facilitate UN aid delivery. Relief agencies warn of mass hunger among Gaza's 2.2 million people, citing severe shortages since Israel cut off all supplies to the territory in March. Malaysia has stepped in as a potential mediator in the escalating border dispute between Thailand and Cambodia. The move comes as both sides trade accusations over intensified artillery strikes near their disputed frontier. Foreign Minister Mohammed Hassan confirmed both nations agreed to the proposal, with the Cambodian Prime Minister and Thailand's acting Prime Minister expected in Kuala Lumpur on Monday. The sides also agreed to reject any foreign interference despite continued strike exchanges and rising tensions in disputed border areas. Torrential rainfall swept across North China today, forcing local authorities to urgently evacuate residents and repair infrastructure. Heavy rainfall lashed Beijing's Mian, Huairou, and Yanqing districts from yesterday night through today morning, triggering emergency flood response measures. Contact has been established with all the affected villages, which are in which more than 3,000 residents across 149 villages in 18 towns having been safely relocated today morning. A wildfire burned through a northern suburb of Athens today, and some residents were ordered to evacuate. Residents of the town of Creoneri, 20 kilometers northeast of Athens, received SMS messages to evacuate to safe areas. On site, 145 firefighters, 44 fire engines, 10 firefighting planes, and 7 helicopters were working to put out the fire, whose origin is still unknown. The fire service is also dealing with 3 other major fires in Crete, Evia, and Kythera islands. In total, 52 wildfires broke out across the country over the past 24 hours. Raging wildfires also swept through forests near Bursa in Turkey last night, yesterday sending massive plumes of smoke billowing into the sky. Flames lit up the hillsides as the fire neared residential zones, prompting fears among residents, many of whom took to the streets wearing face masks to shield against smoke. Emergency crew responded swiftly as firefighting helicopters and aircraft circled overhead, releasing water in repeated attempts to bring the blaze under control. Despite their efforts, the fire continued to spread into today, driven by strong winds and dry summer conditions. Authorities remain on high alert, urging caution and preparing for possible evacuation. No casualties have been reported so far, but officials warn the situation remains dangerous as containment operations continue. The Royal Army of Oman Music Band has achieved advanced rankings in the initial stages of its participation in the 3B category of the Scottish musical competition in preparation for the World Championship in Glasgow. The band secured 5th place in its classification. The band's performances are distributed across several Scottish cities. This participation comes as an invitation of the Royal Scottish Pipe Band Association, with over 200 bands represented by more than 7,000 musicians from around the world. In order to support agricultural production chain, the Far Governorate continues the 3rd edition of Honey and Turmeric exhibition with a wide participation from beekeepers and farmers. The exhibition brings together 13 beekeepers displaying honey and its derivatives that the Governorate is famous for. Local farmers also got the chance to display their organic crops of turmeric, from which they make medicinal products. The exhibition aims to support the economic value of local products, promote traditional knowledge, and encourage sustainable practices. It is worth mentioning that there are 130 beekeepers on the Far who produce 90 tons of honey per year, while turmeric production exceeded 90 tons last year and is expected to reach 150 tons in 2025. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we wrap up tonight's bulletin, here's a recap of our main headlines. His Majesty the Sultan greets Her Excellency the President of the Republic of Peru on her country's National Day. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Excellency the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources participates tomorrow in the 2nd United Nations Food Systems Summit in Ethiopia. And the Sultanate of Oman receives the official Ramsar Convention accreditation certificate for Al-Wusta Governorate Wetland Reserve. With that, we come to the end of tonight's bulletin. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.